Imagine taking a job from a stranger on the internet. It sounds harmless, right? But what if that seemingly innocent decision leads you into a terrifying world of manipulation, danger, and deep psychological horror? Today, we're diving into the eerie world of Creep, a 2014 film that will make you rethink every Craigslist ad you see. This psychological horror, shot in a found footage style, doesn't rely on jump scares or heavy special effects. Instead, it creates tension through its simplicity, its quiet moments, and its disturbing unpredictability. Directed by Patrick Brice and starring Mark Duplass in a role that will make your skin crawl, Creep is a film that's as unsettling as it is brilliant. You won't just be watching a thriller, you'll feel like you're trapped in the same room with someone who might be hiding something, or someone who's hiding everything. In this video, we're going to break down the chilling plot, explore the unsettling dynamics between the characters, and uncover lesser-known facts about the film that will make you look at it in a whole new way. We'll also discuss why Creep is still one of the most unique horror films of the past decade, and why it's earned its place in the Psychological Thriller Hall of Fame. So if you're ready to discover what makes this film both terrifying and brilliant, make sure you stay with us till the end. Trust me, you don't want to miss the twist that changes everything. Welcome to Movies Review. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more in-depth reviews, creepy breakdowns, and everything in between. Now, let's get into the darkness that is Creep. We begin with Aaron, a freelance videographer who's looking to make some extra cash. He's struggling, browsing Craigslist ads for gigs, and that's when he stumbles across a peculiar post. The ad is simple: filming a man for the day. Paying well, I'm dying. Please contact me if you're interested. Sounds harmless enough, right? A chance to make money and maybe even do something a little unusual. Aaron is drawn to it, not just out of financial need, but out of a certain curiosity. Now, right from the start, there's something off about the job. But Aaron, like many of us, doesn't think too much about it. Maybe it's just a quirky, sad request from a man who's nearing the end of his life. We've all been in situations where the oddest offers seem intriguing, even if they raise a few red flags. So Aaron takes the job, agreeing to film a man named Joseph, who claims to be dying. Now, think about it. What kind of person posts an ad like that? It's a moment that sets the tone for the film. As a viewer, you're not sure what's coming next. You know something's going to happen, but you're not sure what. It's like being led into a dark room by a stranger. You have no idea whether you're about to find something helpful, dangerous, or just plain weird. And this is where Creep begins. As Aaron drives to Joseph's remote cabin in the mountains, you can't help but feel the creeping sense of unease. Joseph is waiting for him with an awkward smile, a bit too warm, a bit too eager. The initial conversation is polite. Joseph talks about his illness, his terminal cancer, and how he wants to leave behind a legacy of sorts. He asks Aaron to film a personal video for his unborn child. Aaron is polite, professional, but something feels off. It's the little things. Joseph insists on doing all sorts of strange things that make Aaron uncomfortable, like asking Aaron to film him acting out a bizarre, deeply intimate ritual. At first, Aaron plays along, thinking this is just part of his job. But then the requests start to get stranger. Joseph asks Aaron to film him in a bathtub, naked, with a heart-shaped picture he's made for his son. It's uncomfortable, unsettling, but it's the kind of oddball request that someone in a vulnerable state might make, right? As the day goes on, Joseph becomes increasingly erratic. He tells Aaron stories that start to blur the line between fact and fiction. He talks about his past in a way that's more bizarre than heartbreaking. The more Aaron films, the more he realizes that Joseph is unpredictable. One moment charming, the next terrifying. The small, odd things build up. The awkward silences grow longer, and the tension intensifies. By the time Aaron is ready to leave, the situation has turned from uncomfortable to downright unnerving. Joseph's behavior becomes less like someone facing a terminal illness and more like the actions of a man who's hiding something, or someone who's desperately trying to manipulate those around him. Aaron tries to make a polite exit. He's filmed the message, he's done his job, and it's time to go home. But Joseph has other plans. He insists that Aaron stay longer. He even goes as far as locking the door and forcing Aaron to stay. Joseph's actions become more erratic. He shows up with strange, often disturbing gifts for Aaron. The tension rises, and we see a man who is now on edge, trapped in a psychological game he didn't sign up for. It's important to note that the fear in Creep doesn't come from what is directly shown, but what is left to the imagination. The gift-giving becomes a game, a manipulation tactic. The silence between the two men becomes suffocating. And as the film progresses, the fear shifts. It's no longer about what's in front of you, it's about what might be coming next. The silence, the pauses, the unpredictable tension. It's almost as if the film is forcing you to wait for something horrific to happen. You don't know what's coming, but you know it's going to be bad. At the heart of this movie is the relationship between Aaron and Joseph. Aaron is innocent, curious, and trying to make the best of an odd job. He's trying to be a good person, doing a simple task for someone he believes is in distress. But what happens when a seemingly innocent interaction turns sinister? Aaron's character is defined by his curiosity and naivety. He wants to believe that people are good, that there's nothing wrong with someone asking for help. That's what makes him so vulnerable in this situation, his willingness to trust. In the real world, we've all had moments where we've been too trusting, or perhaps ignored red flags in the hopes that things were just misunderstood. Aaron's trust in Joseph is that of someone who still believes in humanity's goodness. But as the film progresses, we see that trust eroded piece by piece. Then there's Joseph. He's charming, disarming, and then all of a sudden deeply unsettling. At first, he seems like a vulnerable man who just wants to share his story before he dies. But as the film goes on, you start to see cracks in his personality. He's a manipulator, someone who thrives on control and unpredictability. Joseph's charm is what makes him terrifying. His unsettling smile and calm demeanor mask a deep, underlying malice. What's most frightening about Joseph is that you never really know if he's lying or telling the truth. His unpredictability is the true horror. Creep isn't just about jump scares or gory details. It's about fear that grows from everyday situations. It's about how trust can be easily manipulated, how boundaries can be blurred, and how deception can lead to something far more dangerous than we initially realize. One of the key themes in Creep is the loss of trust. Aaron comes into this situation believing that Joseph is just a sick man with an odd request. But over time, we see how Joseph gradually breaches Aaron's trust, crossing lines that make Aaron and the audience question what's real. The film plays on the idea that sometimes the scariest things are the ones we allow ourselves to ignore. Every small, seemingly harmless act from Joseph makes Aaron and us feel a little more uncomfortable, until there's no denying that something is wrong. The film also explores how people react to discomfort and danger. Aaron's reactions are natural at first. He laughs nervously, tries to redirect Joseph. But as things get worse, he becomes visibly anxious and afraid. It's a realistic portrayal of how we might behave in a situation where we feel something isn't right, but don't know how to escape. And finally, Creep is about deception. How easy it is to deceive others when you manipulate their trust. Joseph uses his charm, his fake vulnerability, and his stories to get what he wants, to trap Aaron into staying longer than he ever intended. By the end, you realize that what Joseph was doing all along wasn't just about filming a message, but about gaining control over Aaron, piece by piece. Creep stands out from other horror films because of its style. The movie is shot entirely in a handheld, found footage format, making it feel raw, intimate, and immediate. It's as if you're right there in the room with Aaron, experiencing the tension and terror firsthand. The low-budget approach only enhances the realism. There's no fancy cinematography or expensive special effects to distract you. It's just a camera, some basic lighting, and two characters in a confined space. This minimalism forces the audience to focus on what really matters: the dialogue, the expressions, the pauses. You're never distracted by flashy visuals, so the fear builds in subtle, unsettling ways. What's even more effective is the absence of traditional horror elements. There's no overpowering soundtrack, no dramatic jump scares. Instead, the tension comes from the long silences, the uncomfortable conversations, and the sheer unpredictability of Joseph's behavior. Creep shows how powerful a minimalist approach can be, creating horror not through what's shown, but through what's implied. As we near the end of Creep, one thing becomes clear. The final scenes are some of the most chilling and unforgettable moments in modern psychological horror. Without giving too much away, let's just say that the movie takes a turn that leaves you absolutely unsettled. The tension builds slowly, but when the end comes, it hits hard and sticks with you long after the credits roll. The beauty of Creep lies in its ability to leave you with more questions than answers. There's a lingering sense of discomfort, and you're left wondering what's real and what's not. It's one of those films that you'll keep thinking about long after it ends, dissecting every moment, every interaction. And if you think you have it figured out, think again. The film also sets up perfectly for a sequel, leaving just enough room for the story to continue. Whether that continuation will bring more answers or plunge us deeper into the darkness is something only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Creep is a film that knows how to make you want more. Creep is a masterclass in slow-burn psychological horror. It doesn't need over-the-top scares or excessive gore to make an impact. Instead, it builds tension through the smallest details, the awkward silences, the uneasy glances, and the strange, unpredictable behavior of its characters. Mark Duplass' performance as Joseph is deeply unsettling, and Patrick Brice's direction keeps you on the edge of your seat, never quite knowing what will happen next. This is a movie that forces you to question what you would do in Aaron's place. What would you do if you found yourself stuck with someone who was both charming and dangerous? Would you trust your instincts, or would you play along to avoid conflict? It's a thought-provoking film, one that will have you contemplating human nature, trust, and boundaries long after the screen goes dark. So if you're a fan of smart, disturbing thrillers that don't rely on flashy visuals, but instead focus on atmosphere, character, and tension, then Creep is an absolute must-watch. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth movie breakdowns, reviews, and the latest in film analysis. And hey, tell us, what would you have done in Aaron's place? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think.